Let's practice creating and formatting graphs. You can download this file at sdrv.ms/1blv1T. So what we have here in the US are some very popular pets. Fish being the first, 142 million, cats, dogs, then birds. We have this total as well, which is based off these previous values summed up. Our challenge is to make a pie chart. So to do this, I'm going to highlight this information, but not including the total. Let's go to Insert, and this is where you can find a nice pie chart. Click, and then just choose the first one. We don't really need a 3D pie chart. That's a bit too fancy for our needs. Let's just click on this one here. And this looks pretty good, but I don't really like this title here. So this chart title in millions is not very descriptive. So what I'll do here is I'm going to click on it, and I can double click. In fact, I can even triple click to highlight everything and type in the title. I'm just going to call this Popular Pets in the US and probably throughout the world. So just for fun, to play around with these charts, I'm gonna click here in the chart area, and I'm gonna press some of these buttons. So when you click on this chart area, there's lots of things available for us to play with. Let's look at the obvious. Let's look at this ribbon up here at the top. There's something called Quick Layout. So if you click on Quick Layout, we can just choose one of these, and you can see that by hovering over these, you can get probably exactly what you want right away. So the percentages are nice to have sometimes. And furthermore, some of these layouts have these titles, whereas some do not. You can even change the colors. So if there's some kind of different color scheme that you prefer to have, we can even customize that option. There's even these here are called styles. So within the Chart Tools Design tab, there's these different styles, and we can quickly choose these styles, which you can see that some of them are pretty fancy, including very subtle gradient shadings. So that's really nice to know. And as you choose these styles, remember that there's a little drop-down box here where you can click on this down arrow which says More. So just don't forget about these other cool options down here. Alright, so just to click on this little plus sign here, these are called chart elements. You can hide or show the chart title based off this. In fact, you can even have a legend or not have a legend by choosing this checkbox, and we even have data labels. So if you click on this here, data labels, you can see the numbers are here in millions, but what if you want a percent? Now of course, some of these options are pretty repetitive and redundant. If you want a percentage, you can just choose some option up here, but the idea of playing with these options allows you to customize your graph just the way that you want. So with data labels, if we want a percentage, I'm gonna hit this little arrow here on the side, and you can just hover over these different options to see what happens. But right now, so this is not too bad. The data callout's not too bad, but I'm gonna go to more options. And with more options, what's interesting here is we don't want the value. I'm gonna go to percentage. So this is what I wanted. I wanted to show the percentage for each of these different sections. So this pie chart is very useful for comparing data in terms of percentages. You can visually see that fish here is the most popular pet. So let's finish off this video by just playing with this chart here. When you click on this chart, or if you click on this specific graph and you want to change one of these colors, for example, you can even double click on one of these color regions. This is blue here, and just play with the options. So for example, if I click on this little fill button, and you can see the color here is blue, if you want a certain section to be a different color, you can hit the drop down box, and if I were to change it to, for example, orange, you can see that you have the power to individually change colors by double clicking on it. Let's continue this chart tutorial in the next video. So the key here is to remember that when you're creating a chart, highlight just the information that you need. Once you have a chart, whether it be a pie graph or a bar graph or any kind of graph, just pay attention to the various chart tools. Within the Design tab, you have the ability to change the layout, which includes all the axes, the colors, as well as the styles, which you can hit the drop down box over here to see some more. As well, be aware that you can play around these buttons on the sides here. You can play around the chart elements. In fact, there's a button here for the styles and colors, which gets kind of repetitive. There's more than one way to do things, and in fact, you can even play around with various filtering abilities, where you can actually hide some categories. And finally, if you actually click on the chart itself and double click on one of the colors, you can even change individual colors.